Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining in, and we'll start off as some of you still continue to join. So, this call is essentially to update all of you on an announcement which happened 2 nights back in Portugal by the Prime Minister through a press conference. While we were speculating before that, also there was all speculation, but the first announcement came in 2 days back. And this is not specific announcement to golden visa. This was part of a larger bill on real estate. And they essentially, government wanted to ease out two things in the real estate market. One is the prices because of the affordability for locals. And second is the lease rentals for residential properties as well as commercial have gone up substantially in the last 2 years up, and which is creating problem for locals to afford both of these, either lease as well as this. There's one more challenge which the government was facing is that the whole availability of properties for lease was not too much, and as affordability on the purchase was too low. Because a lot of golden visa applicants who over the years have purchased these residential properties have either kept them in lock and key, very few of them self-use, most of them have given on short-term leases like Airbnb. And that was creating the shortage, and hence the prices were going up and the rentals were going up. So there was increased political pressure and noise within Portugal to address this. Last year, they did come out with some regulatory changes. This was January of last year, 2022, where they stopped purchase of residential properties in the top three cities. It seems that it has not really had the desired impact on cooling off the rentals as well as the prices. So this this is an announcement which says that golden visa is also being reviewed, and there will be changes to golden visa specifically to the residential properties. Now, what these changes will be, when will they be effective, how will it impact past clients, currently in process, people who will file from here on till the changes come into effect and become law, is still unanswered. And there are a lot of speculations and questions around this. So like any announcement, they've done the announcement. Now they're going to bring a proposal, which is going to be in the public domain for 30 days till 16th of March. So post which this suggestions will be taken into considerations and a new bill will be drafted. This bill first will be passed in the parliament, then it goes to the president. President approves it or questions it, asks for clarification, sends it back to the assembly, and assembly will be able to pass this bill. So general understanding everyone has today in this short time is that today the golden visa is still live and kicking. Anyone who files from here till this becomes a law is eligible. Second, we will continue to process our clients both in terms of documentation and filing, because till the time the filing portal is open and you're allowed to file is what we will continue to file the clients. So that is one. Second, in the old bucket, which is clients who've already filed, they don't get impacted, especially in options like hotel shareholding and commercial property and the fund, which is where majority of our, or in fact all of our clients are. So none of our clients are in the residential physical real estate property which can be leased or used for self-use. So that way, I think we are in luck, at least with these changes, which will directly impact the residential. So these are some of the things that we wanted to update you on. News is very uncertain. What will happen will play out over the next weeks and few months. But in the meantime, people who are in process, we'll urge them to continue the process. Rest assured, we will ensure that only when we are certain that yes, there is a clear window, there's a clear path, there will be no risk to the application or to the investment, then only we will take a call to file. Is what we are planning to do. People who are already in process, we do intend to expedite these applications, and by Monday we'll figure out what all can we do to expedite. One of the things could be that we open a bank account with a bank which opens it faster. Instead of a 6-week time frame, it opens in 1 week or 2 weeks time. We're already in discussion with bank over yesterday and today, and by Monday we'll have a plan in place for this. So lot of speculation, lot of hearsay, no concrete answers. Having said this, because this news was already out and you would have read it somewhere or the other, we thought it right to address it upfront and address it directly with you, which is our set of investors. So I'll pause here and open the floor to questions. You can type the questions in the chat box, in the Q&A chat box, and we'll take them up one by one. Okay, we have the first question is, how do existing investors get impacted? Like I said, existing investors will keep renewing their golden visa. Either it is in process, under approval, awaiting approval. They will get the approval and they can keep renewing. There is no impact whatsoever on the existing investors for two reasons. One is, none of our investors, including some of you who are on this call who are already filed, are in residential real estate property. And like I said, this is directed more towards residential real estate property for the reasons that we just discussed, which is rentals going up, non-availability of rental units, and the prices generally going up, which creates non-affordability for locals. So these are the two reasons that our set of investors and investors who have not invested in real estate property will not get impacted. On the real estate properties also, what they have clearly spelled out in the announcement itself is that either the property has to be self-used by the investor himself or his family, or it has to be given out on long lease, and it cannot be given on short lease, which is Airbnbs. So this is very clearly spelled out. So there is a path to renewal, no impact, provided you do what they want you to do in terms of leasing it out. Yes, there's first question. We want a copy of the bill which is published for the public comments. Yes, as soon as this comes in, we will share with all of you. Will you recommend starting a new application now? Yes, we in fact have a lot of investors who will be in this bucket. We will be starting the applications now. Having said this, we don't know how long this window is available. So this will obviously be with a caveat that if the window is available and we are able to complete all documentation, process, bank account opening well in time, before this window is no more available, or it is not available at all, the golden visa itself, then we'll have a challenge. Otherwise, like I said, people who are already in process, we continue to file. We as a team are working over the weekend to just put a process and plan in place for each of the steps for even starting a new application or clients in process. So instead of doing things one by one, we'll start to do things in parallel. A lot of things like police clearance certificates, like marriage certificates, apostilling, we'll start doing for all clients, be it new or in process or already in process. Hi, we are in process, filed in June 22 in commercial property, so we don't get impacted. Yes, commercial properties should not get impacted. Also, commercial properties would have been anyways given out on long lease, right? I mean, there be hardly any people who will be using the commercial properties themselves. So it does fulfill the intention of the government also, and it is not really targeted commercial property. So we believe that already filed commercial properties should not get impacted. Next one is to reconfirm if we file under fractional ownership of hotel property, recommend would be continue the process. Definitely, yes, we have confirmation from the developers themselves that it is business as usual till the time we are not turned away in terms of filing. Second is we have consensus from multiple lawyers that yes, this is a window available till the time it is not stopped, right? Because nowhere in the announcement it says that the golden visa as a whole continue stops to cease, or golden visa particular category. Like I said, it's a due process which will be followed. So there is definitely a window. Having said this, in the agreement, be it commercial property or be it hotel shareholding, the already agreement clauses in the agreement which basically stipulate that if you are refused or not assigned a golden visa, then this transaction will be reversed and your money refunded. In addition, we are separately taking a confirmation from all the intended investment avenues and developers and hotel shareholding or commercial property that if this scenario was to play out, that you don't get assigned a golden visa, then we'll reverse the transaction, refund them. How does this impact freehold properties? Freehold properties is what actually they are targeting, specifically residential. What they have said in the announcement is freehold property, residential, if it is not in self-use and if it is not given on long-term lease, then your golden visa may not be renewed. So you'll have to do either of the two, but there are varied legal opinions on that, that this cannot be done retrospectively, can only be done prospectively. But if they do retrospectively, it doesn't really impact the housing market overall, right? I mean, it doesn't change anything. So freehold properties, residential in nature, is actually the intended, and pre this announcement, all the speculation was only around residential property freehold. Those who have already applied under the hotel property share will not be impacted whatsoever in terms of the outcome of the application, or once the application is approved in terms of the renewals. That's absolutely correct. There is no impact for this category of investors, because 2-3 things logically, it is not residential, it is not helping the intended reason for doing this. Thirdly, it is commercial in nature. Fourth, it is already being leased on a continuous basis, so it's commercial, right? Another question: what is short lease and long lease? Long lease is when you give an apartment or a house for say 1 year or a 3 year or a 5 year lease. Short lease is when you give for days, right? Like Airbnb, which is you give it to a person for 2 days, then it is vacant for 10 days, then you give it for another 3 days. That is what short lease is. Multiple formats and different ways of giving it, or you give it for a month. So you're giving on a month, it is given for a month, then it is empty for 2 months, 3 months, where locals cannot really, people cannot access it, it's vacant. So that is the difference between long and short lease. Any other questions? I do understand that there will be more questions emerging as we go along and we get more and more clarity. Rest assured, we're keeping a very close watch on each development. Not only do we have existing investors, we have investors in process, and we will have new investors coming in to file. Like I said earlier, I would like to reiterate that rest assured, we will not uh, take the step of funding the bank account and making the purchase of the property and executing the title deed till the time we are not certain that yes, this is a window available, the filing is open, and you will get uh, through not only through the filing but also approval and the subsequent renewals. So we are keeping a conscious watch on all of these factors before we file any investor from here on. How does the new change affect renewals? Like I said, renewals, the indication as of now in the announcement we have is the renewals only get impacted for residential properties, and the renewals get impacted if it is not leased out. It is either it is not self-use or it is not leased out for long lease. So when I said thank you for arranging this call today, most welcome, and please feel free to reach out in either to myself or any of the team members. Most of you are aware of the team members as well. Um, One more question, if not Portugal, any other option? I would say too early to discuss that or decide on that. The reason that we've all chosen Portugal and the fact that all of you are on this call, either existing clients who've executed, awaiting approval, or already got approval, or people who are in process, or people who are going to start the process now. The fact that we've chosen Portugal is, yes, it is the most attractive golden visa program as on date. It does exist as on date, and that's the reason. And that's why we've chosen it. To compare and find an alternative, there is no alternative as of now, which is same as Portugal. It can be something similar. So you may look at Greece, Spain, but very different offerings, right? So there is nothing exactly the same as Portugal, and that's the reason we've chosen Portugal. So I would say I think too early. Let's utilize this window and time to ensure that you're filed, you're approved, and there is no problem with the underlying investment that we've chosen. And if at all that this is not possible in the next 2 to 3 months, then is the time that we discuss alternatives. Will this news affect the processing timelines? Not really. In fact, on processing timelines, just since everyone is on this call, I would say that they've done 2, 3 things to clear processing. First and foremost, they seem to have cleared almost the entire December backlog and COVID backlog and the entire rush which came in December of 2021. So that is one. Two is they've added 100 more people to process this. So they've hired 100 additional people, CEF, which is the processing agency, immigration agency in Portugal. And last but very critical is they've made the renewals online and remote. So there is no need to be personally there, and there is no need to basically physically do it. So even the lawyers are now doing it remotely and online. What it does is, because majority of the applications now with the backlog cleared are renewals in process, so which significantly reduces the timeline. So contrary to your question, I think the processing timeline is on its way to going to pre-COVID levels, when potentially it used to take 3 to 6 months to approval from the filing. So hopefully with all these measures and the backlog and this, we should go back to normal timelines. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time out on Saturday. Like I said, to conclude, please feel free to reach out to myself or any of my team members to answer any queries, questions in person today or any time from here on. And we'll keep in touch and we'll keep you posted through this medium from time to time as we have more updates. Thank you and have a great weekend, all of you.